Hello friends, welcome to the video lecture of software engineering. Today we will discuss the practical session of software engineering. Myself, Professor Rajul Suthar. Here the first experiment of software engineering in the GTU syllabus. The first experiment is study the complete software development life cycle SDLC and analyze the various activity conduct as the part of various phase for each of the software development life cycle. Identify the objective and summaries outcome. So here one figure is displayed or represent of software development life cycle. So total 6 phases covered in software development life cycle. We will discuss one by one. What do you mean by software development life cycle? So what is a software development life cycle? Software development life cycle is a term used in software development to narrate a procedure for planning, designing, creating, testing and deploying the software or application. This is the simple study practical. If we collect the information related to the software development life cycle, so it is the total creation of product from starting to ending. We are creating the product from requirement analysis. So requirement will covered or we are collect the requirement from the customer sides in software development life cycle. So software development life cycle is nothing but the total stage that covered to creation of particular software product. So software development life cycle, it is one type of activity, that is the process used by software industries to analyze, develop and test any piece of developed software. The goal of software development life cycle is organize the core process of software development process so that the final result of the highest quality in given situation, a combination of available budget, the business case for the software development, time limits, plus the professional level of software architecture and engineers involved into the process. So this is the most important part whenever we start the experiment of software engineering. So we will we must focus on software development life cycle. So this is the simple study practical. In this practical we will cover total 6 phases one by one. So first one is a planning. What do you mean by planning? Planning is nothing but the business prerequisite or knowledge collect from the customer. Okay, whenever we conduct the meeting with supervisor, partner and customer are held to decide the prerequisites like who is going to use the software application. Whenever software development team will build the product, so who is the user of particular software product and who is the software application, how the software application is going to be used and what information is the software going to process. These are the general inquiry that get the reply during the prerequisite or acknowledgement stage. A requirement specification document is then created to serve the purpose of guideline for next phase of the life cycle. So it covered like functional requirement specification, business requirement specification, client or customer requirement specification, user requirement specification, business design documentation, business document, all things that cover into the planning stage. So this is the planning stage. Then second one is analysis. requirement analysis. What do you mean by requirement analysis? This stage of requirements analysis is the most important in software development lifecycle. Why it is important? Let me discuss. It is usually performed by the senior members of software development team. So senior member that perform it work with the market. So marketing and industries expert, we can say that it is the expert of particular things. This is the critical part of project where the software development team leadership must understand to creating or to develop the software, and specific for the business case, the potential position of the software being developed against the product of competitors while we are creating the software. So our competitors also available in the market. So we require proper analysis. The outcome of stage, usually we cover the software requirement specification, which stand for SRS, that is nothing but the total requirement related to the particular software. And at this stage, the identification of development risk as well as the quality assurance methodology that covered into our product lifeline. The outcome of the analysis stage is to define the technical solution which will lead to the success of project with minimum risk. So we required requirement analysis. Then next stage is designing. So in our simplified model, we assume that after stage 1, the requirement analysis, leader of the project write down the decision that were taken and developed. So software requirement specification document will created. So SRS is the reference guide for software architect to deliver the best possible result for the given software. The outcome of the work of software architecture is system design specification. This document, sometime also called the design document specification. The best scenario is software design specification is reviewed by the important stakeholder of project from different outlook such as risk assessment, product robustness, design, modularity, budget and time constraint. The best design model is then discussed and selected for the product. Then let me discuss about implementation. What do you mean by implementation? The complexity of this stage heavily depend on the outcome of previous two stage. The better SRS and SDS means software design specification, the easier it is for the software engineer to develop the required modules within a time. So it is not a secret that first prototype or first version of software are required within a very short time scale. Then this can be affected the quality of final software. The quality also depends heavily on the analysis capability of each individual taking the part in coding phase, designing as well as prepared proper SRS. The more experienced and brain power analyst, architects and developer have less time and documentation is needed in the design phase. So implementation is also important part. Implementation part cover the coding. Coding it performed by expert, that is when we hire with the programming as well as designing purpose. Then next one is most important part, that is the testing and integration. On the basis of testing and integration, total quality of product will be decided. So this stage is called testing. In real life, the situation is that fault found in the software in the testing phase lead back to the development phase, and then back to the testing phase in circle until the software final reach the necessary quality. So we require the final or qualified software by using the testing and integration. Okay, the testing phase normally consists of two internal phases. That first one is automated or unit testing, we can say that functional testing, as well as second one is acceptance test that performed by the human. So testing based on two approach. First one is a automatic approach and second is human based approach, that is called manual. Then next one is maintenance. So maintenance is the last stage of software development lifecycle. Ignoring the technical side of phase, this is when the software is released to the alpha or beta or stable state in the last of feedback. So we required the maintenance. Analysis of the feedback can be lead to the second, third or fourth iteration of software development lifecycle. Means the process is continued again with the phase 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Gradually eliminate any issue that have been found in the release of the software. The whole software development process can be also planned over the serial iteration, especially when it comes to the agile, where the main focus is to release the working product as soon as possible and implement the different features later on. So it doesn't mean that going over the several iteration always mean bug fix or tuning, as I mentioned in the total plan of the software development lifecycle. So software development lifecycle is important to create the perfect or quality software. For software development lifecycle, there are various models. So here software development lifecycle models is covered: waterfall model, agile model, iterative, spiral, rapid application development model, prototyping model and V model. There are few software development lifecycle model here covered, that is the series of unique steps with the ultimate aim of success of we are creating the quality product of particulars customer requirement on the basis of customer requirement. So here waterfall model is a simple linear sequential model. Then agile model, most important model, or it is the combined approach, incremental as well as iterative approach, iterative models, then spiral model, rapid application development model and prototype model. Some of the traditional methodology, like in the waterfall model, sometimes called the software development life cycle because they have the distinct phase. So the term can be used in general sense of any methodology. There is also distinct between the life cycle approach and agile approach, which define the process of iteration, but where the design, construction and deployment of different pieces that can be simultaneously work. In any case, it is up to the management or development team to decide which approach or combination approach they will use. Here waterfall model is nothing but a waterfall is widely trusted software development lifecycle model. In this linear sequential model, the whole process of software development is divided into the various phases that covered into the SDLC. Then incremental model is not a separate, it is a series of waterfall cycle and the element are divided into the group at the every stage of creation of the project. For each of the group, software development model is followed to the procedure creation of the software. Here V model is something like different. This model of software development lifecycle is used for testing and development. The phase is planned in parallelly So there are verifying the stage on one side and validation phase on other side. So we can say that this is the V model. One side validation and one side verification. Thank you for watching this session.